Hey everybody, welcome back to the Daily Bombast. I am Damien with my lovely wife Terry, and we are on the road today. We're heading to El Paso, and then after that we're going to head on up into New Mexico to Roswell, which should be a pretty interesting time. Between here and El Paso, I don't think that there's a whole lot. Driving across western Texas is like driving on the moon. If you've ever done it before, you know what I'm talking about. But if we find anything between here and there that's of relative interest, we'll certainly catch you up. Okay, talk to you soon. See, what did I tell you? Just like driving across the moon, only it's a little more bushy and a little less civilized. Well, we made it to El Paso, but to be honest with you, there really isn't much to do here. So we're just going to kick it on out of here, and we're going to head up to Roswell. But before we do, I wanted to show you this beautiful sunrise this morning that we have out of our hotel window. I just thought it was particularly gorgeous, so I wanted to share that with you. Hey everybody, so we made it to Roswell, New Mexico, and anybody who already knows me probably already knows that I'm kind of a UFO buff. I wouldn't really call myself a ufologist as some people do, but I am kind of a follower of UFOs and aliens and the whole conspiracy theory thing. So yeah, we're in Roswell, and you likely already know the whole history behind Roswell, but let me give you a quick rundown. Let me bore you with that for a minute. Back in 1947, a sheep rancher here in the Roswell vicinity heard a big crash one night and near his property. So the next morning he went out and he investigated, and he found a whole lot of metallic debris out there. And so, not knowing what it was, he called the local sheriff, and the sheriff in turn called, of course, the Air Force. The Air Force came out, and then they made a claim to the local news that that they had captured debris from a flying disc, and that possibly that they had also possibly recovered some alien bodies. Now, the major in charge of this was Jesse Marcel, and he had taken some of this debris home with him that night and showed it to his family. And some of the debris was things that he had never seen before. And one of the things he had mentioned that he had seen was something that was like a foil type of thing, where you could crumple the foil up and it would immediately go back to the way it was. And that, as well as some other metallic, like stick sort of things, like rods, and it had very strange writing on it. But in any case, the day after that headline hit the newspapers that they had captured this, the Air Force retracted everything and said, no. This all it was just a weather balloon. And they also published a picture with Major Marcel kind of smiling very sheepishly and as though he was just kind of an idiot for doing this, which was, in my opinion, is kind of silly, because I mean, the guy was a major general in the Air Force. He should know the difference between the kind of debris that a weather balloon would have and the type of debris that he had actually seen. And interestingly enough, Jesse Marcel went to his deathbed claiming that the debris that he had found was not that of a weather balloon, and he didn't know what it was. He wasn't claiming it was part of a flying saucer or anything like that, but he did claim that this stuff was not part of a weather balloon. So begins the big Roswell, New Mexico flying saucer crash conspiracy. So anyway, like I say, we are in Roswell today, and we are going to take a trip to the UFO, the International UFO and Research Museum. I think that's what it's called. And so come along with us, and if the truth is out there, we will find it. I don't know if you can see this or not. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit, but all the lampposts here on the main strip in Roswell have little alien eyes on them. I just thought that was pretty funny, actually. Okay, so here we are at the International UFO Museum and Research Center. So hopefully we'll be able to talk to somebody inside and get kind of a lowdown on all this. So here's something I thought was kind of cool. You see all the pins on this map from all over the world, and apparently this map is cleaned off at the first of the last working day of each month. It just shows you how many people from all over the world come to this place. I just thought that was pretty incredible, actually. And if I can zoom in, that little white one right here, that's where we're from, Spring Hill. Woo! So here's a copy of the first press release. RAAF captures flying saucer on ranch in Roswell region. I don't know if you can see that, but the date is July 8th, 1947. And that's from the Roswell Daily Record. The Spokane Daily Chronicle also has it dated as July 8th of 1947. And it says, Army declares flying disc found. The Chicago Daily News also, apparently it became syndicated immediately that day that Army finds air saucer on ranch in New Mexico. So the Army was making claims that that it had been found, and then the very next day, on July 9th, it says that the Army finds captive disc is actually a weather balloon. So obviously they covered it up immediately. Over here on the Roswell Daily Record, it says General Ramey empties Roswell saucer, and they're claiming that it is a weather balloon. Down here we have a picture of Jesse Marcel, who I mentioned before, and the unfortunate part here is that he never took any pictures of the original wreckage, and so here he is again. I mentioned that he has kind of a sheepish grin on his face, almost apologetic in saying that he was wrong, that it was actually a weather balloon. He came out later and testified that he was told to say that, and like I said, when he took it to his deathbed that what he was holding in this picture was actually a weather balloon, but what he had discovered was non-weather balloon material. This display is kind of interesting. I mentioned earlier before that some of the debris that Major Marcel had found were pieces of foil like this, things that look like a piece of foil, but if you had crumbled it up into a tight little ball, then as soon as you released it, it would immediately go back to its flattened shape. I also mentioned kind of a stick. Apparently it was an I-beam sort of thing, and it had sort of alien writing on it, and if it wasn't, they wonder, if it wasn't alien in origin, then what would it be? Here's a better shot of the kind of thing that was on the I-beam. So yeah. So what was it? If it wasn't alien, what was it? And why would these symbols be on a weather balloon? But of course, all this stuff was scrapped and by the military and replaced by the actual weather balloon. This is one of the several campy displays they have in the museum. This flying saucer, and then below it has these alien figures. If you watch them long enough, they'll move around a little bit. Their heads move around. Let's see if we can get one to do it. There we go. So, for those of you who say that UFOs aren't real, here you go. Here are the aliens. Here's actual proof. Let me get in front of you. So some people claimed that alien bodies were found at the crash site, and that some of them were actually up and walking around, that they were survivors of the crash.
What the Army says is that what these things actually were dummy drops, dummies that have been dropped from airplanes to test the impact. But here, most of the witnesses claim that the bodies were, between 3 and 4 feet tall. And this dummy, I can't give you really a good perspective of this, but this dummy is actually about 5.5 feet tall, almost 6 feet tall. But beyond that, how does that explain that some of these figures were up and walking around? It just wouldn't happen.
There you have it. That was the big alien adventure. As far as I'm concerned, it was kind of sorely disappointing. We didn't even get to meet one alien. That's a drag. But anyway, so that was Roswell. And if you ever do go to Roswell, I advise that you don't. It's just kind of boring, and the museum was only relatively interesting. So if the truth is out there, there's one truth to be had about the aliens, and that is that they market themselves very well. There are gift shops galore here, and everything is alien merchandise. This and alien use merchandise that. It's you're inundated with it. So anyway, so there you have it.